And it's because you're cogent and charismatic and filled with veritas, common sense, they don't want you to be able to go over there and be the keynote speaker and have it all over the news and actually speak for yourself. They don't want the people in the UK to pick up on what you're saying and doing because it makes so much sense, and it's despicable. But I think now, because of the internet, this is going to backfire 100 times the people in the UK conservatively. This is all over the news now that would have learned about what you're teaching are now going to find out about it, and that's where tyrants always fail, is they think they're going to win by shutting us down up front, but if we just keep on it coming, they can't win.
Well, Alex, I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity on this forum. It's been incredible. Well,
it's been amazing having you. Thank you, Tim Larken. The website where people can learn more, targetfocustraining.com. Are there any other websites folks should visit?
They can do 5-second survival. You know, they can spell it any different way. That's another great website where they get a lot of free information. I'm providing my whole book for people to download so they can really see what we're all about. So they can kind of see that we certainly aren't vigilantes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, Alex.
Well, that was a powerful interview. Went even better than I thought it would. So he's banned from the UK because he's articulate. And you got a bunch of crooks running that government, a bureaucracy that wants to have a bunch of victims that they can feed on while they flood the country with people from rough and tumble nations that are just, I mean, they admit it. I've had members of the parliament on. I don't care. It's not about race or color or even religion. The police force is being made up now of all the foreigners. Back when I was there, the cops would come over and they could hardly speak English. I'm like, is there an Englishman in this country? And I'm told it's the same in Ireland. It's the same in Scotland. It's the same in Wales. Is that the bureaucracy, and I've had members of parliament on, the social workers, the cops, the little ninny cops, they've got these little sub-cops like TSA. They aren't even from the UK. And they come from countries where just 15 years ago they were under Soviet control. And they're bringing that exact system. And do they want the Brits or the Scots or anybody else rediscovering their humanity and their right to self-defense? Absolutely not. They don't want you discovering health. And I've been out of health shape for like a decade, just starting to get back into it. It's a revolution against tyranny. Get your body in order. Get your mind in order. Get prepared. Think about what you're going to do. I mean, constantly, you know, you run into these guys now, because a lot of them are on steroids, whatever. I don't think they've been in a lot of vicious fights, so they're not, running to real tough guys, they're real friendly, they're real nice, like that guy. All about being friendly, because you understand the reality of it. You get a bunch of cops, though, get this type of training. They go out and kill people all the time. TSA, the police they've got at the airports that aid the TSA, killing people all the time. And it's disgusting. And believe me, even if the cops get away with it, even if they're thugs, they don't feel good when you break some lady's neck 3 days later. I mean, you don't feel good when you do that. You don't feel good. I mean, I grew up, I can't believe I grew up in what I grew up in. I mean, it was ridiculous, the amount of fights and hospitalizations, and I've had my leg broken. And I mean, it was a joke how many fights I got in, because of people always started it, but I would never back down. And I'm like, wow, I got a pin in my leg. I've had all these concussions. I've got permanently black eyes from all these fights. What if I would have known to back off when people started fights with me? There would only been a handful of the fights I would have had to have. And the point is, you want to save yourself up for that. You want to save yourself up for when you've really got to defend yourself. Not just getting in a bunch of knockdown, drag-out fights, but instead it's just a bunch of men on police forces or in their pickup trucks. I mean, the way I see these cops act, they act just like some roid head out of the gym who wants to come up to you because they're bigger than you and get in your face. Or, you know, I mean, I told the story when I was at South Padre last year, and I walk out of this restaurant, and these guys in motorcycles pull up with all their devil stuff and almost run over my 3-year-old daughter. And I'm sitting there, and the guy starts to bow up, and I didn't even say anything. I just leaned over, and I was seconds from hurting him really bad, folks. And because I don't have a governor, and the guy backed off and said, "Oh, I'm sorry." But you know, the point is that that's what those instincts are for, is defending your children. The instincts to kill people are not there so you can act tough at the gym and shove people around. And all you so-called tough guys out there throwing your weight around, you obviously haven't met the right tough guy yet. Because any day of the week, you're going to run into somebody 10 times tougher. That's where the Second Amendment comes in for defense. Big equalizer. We'll be back. Sick of the globe. Hey, the New World Order's out there running around crazy, but at least we can get guns, get trained to defend ourselves physically, try to get prepared for what's coming down on us, because as things get worse and worse, more and more people are going to listen to us. Coming up, I'm going to get into some world news and then get into the fact that I watched federal police harass the daylights out of people down on the Texas coast. And it's all part of the nanny state, getting the general public accustomed to being henpecked. That is coming up. 8 out of 10 Cats is probably the #1 show in England. I had no idea how big this show was. But they asked last week permission to air a short clip of the show where I was talking about TSA people molesting people and basically raping them. I mean, that's what the penal code says, is that it's you know, groping people. Going in the pants is a felony. The outside is a misdemeanor. And they edited the tape, which is, I understand it's a comedy show. They want to make a joke out of it. And David Hasselhoff, you know, laughs, says, Alex Jones, like, Well, whenever they play the clip and ask him what he thinks about it. But my issue here is they edited it down, because I'm describing who wants a job as a TSA agent, strip searching old ladies, looking in babies' diapers, grabbing on women. And I went on to point out, even if a woman looked like Marilyn Monroe, I wouldn't want to touch a woman who wasn't into it. But there are plenty of people that like to force it. Well, they edit it together to make it sound like I'm bad. So just classic. I mean, this is how they take this incredible issue of now the TSA on the streets doing this, just the opposite of freedom, and make a joke out of it. But at the end of the day, they'll go to Infowars.com, and I guess this is what it takes to get the info out on the air, because I'm told, Little Bird told me that we actually have fans over there. But it's interesting to have Hasselhoff, he's a funny guy, talking about the TSA. It's the full video's up at Infowars.com if you're a radio listener. It's titled, David Hasselhoff Loves the TSA. Let's go ahead and go to part of the clip. Here it is. Yeah, they're saying because of butt bombers, they're going to have to start doing intense inspections. They say strip searches. Australia's talking about full body x-rays, and that they're going to have to strip search you. And, well, I told you that was coming next. And then there might be a butt bomber on the highway. So your wife's got to get a proctology exam by some perv. And these psych warfare chiefs know what they're doing. If they can get away with this, they got away with putting fluoride, that's 8-fold increase in cancer. In boys, it's 7-fold in men. I mean, go look it up. They can get away with anything. Look at this. That's some pretty good singing. My voice cracking and everything. I'm walking up right before I go back on air live, and they're sitting there playing clips. And I could tell it was for TSA, and they were like laughing. Neil Diamond. So there you go, my imitation of Neil Diamond. By the way, the video and audio of my breakdown of Bilderberg this year with Mike Adams went up on the website over the weekend. Sources inside Bilderberg spill cabal's secret plans. Very important article. Location and details of Palm Tree Conference confirmed. Now, I have one mole who's not connected to Bilderberg. I need to be clear on that, but is connected to Bilderberg. They're not part of Bilderberg, but it's a source inside Bilderberg, if you know what I mean. And then we have another penetrator. And no, I'm not talking about TSA with, well, excuse me, who is under Bilderberg. This is quite a coup d'etat. So I'm very excited about that. And this ups the ante with the globalists. So I'll imagine they're not too pleased with any of this. But it is in Chantilly, and I want to see everybody there, so please get that article out. Easiest place to find it is at RealAlexJones/Twitter. It's like 7 or 8 tweets down. If you go to the RSS feed that says breaking news, or even the featured news archive, it's now off the page because hundreds of new articles go up a day at Infowars.com and Prisonplanet.com. But it's so important to check out the stuff that you may miss at Infowars.com. You can simply go there And I'm trying to get back to the site, actually, so I can tell you what the top stories are, because so many new ones have just gone up on the site in the last 20, 30 minutes or so. I said I'd open the phones up today, and I haven't done that yet. Oh, just some news like this. FEMA and Pentagon's National Guard Homeland Response Force trains in New York. It's also in the news again, confirming, oh, yes, the Russians are training over here to take on American terrorists. Russian TV is very proud of that. The communist Chinese government's buying up land, railways, infrastructure, banks, natural gas. Police hunt man for sport. That video they've been censoring is reposted up at Infowars.com of the murder of Kelly Thomas. Established dirty tricks at conventions target Paul supporters. New Steve Watson article. Also, talking surveillance cameras coming to U.S. streets. They've had them in England for 5 years. Now they're coming here. They have microphones hidden and watch you, all part of living in 1984. But the border's wide open, and the government shipping in narcotics, but they've got to teach you that you're a little prisoner. Another report we just played part of, the rest of it's up at Infowars.com. David Hasselhoff loves the TSA. And then he laughs and says, after they play the clip, Alex Jones. Hey, we'd like to get the Hoff on. He is quite a character. Big fan of him and Hop as well. You can tell I like Hop. I like Carlos and Hop. Feinstein, get ready for more aggressive molestation at the airport. And that's why I just look at the photograph of Feinstein. I mean, she has armed guards but wants you disarmed. She wants total socialism. She loves the carbon taxes that have just devastated California. That's in the news today. I mean, she is a piece of trash. And she looks like Darth Vader with a wig on. Remember when they take the helmet off Darth Vader and he's like, Luke, I can see you with my own eyes. She literally looks like that actor. I mean, she looks like a weird Skeletor creature. And I'm just sick of her. Listen, you witch, piece of trash. I'm sick of you. I can't even fly because your dirty federal pedophile army who's out of their jurisdiction and aren't even sworn officers are want to molest everybody and put us in microwave ovens that are killing the little idiot TSA workers. You witch who flies around on government jets and is filthy rich doesn't put up with this, you piece of filth, you maggot. Oh, you make me angry. I read her quotes here about, I know the public has not been terribly sympathetic, but get used to it. There's more coming. I mean, go read the quotes. She's like, steady, we've got to control these slaves. We can get away with this. We can get away with anything. And it just goes on. I mean, this is all based on a made-up baloney about the last underwear bomber who was a government minion, mind control idiot. They admit the U.S. government got him on the plane. I mean, he's being escorted, drooling onto the aircraft. The FBI, even the New York Times has gone and set up schizophrenics, mentally ill, retarded people, you name it. I mean, they literally go find mentally retarded street people who don't even know their name and say they're jihads or white supremacists. They go find white homeless ex-cons, crackheads, and they're the new army that's going to kill everybody. And we got to give our rights up to the government. Justice Department runs all this. That idiot moron, new Black Panther group saying, start race wars, kill Whitey, burn everything down. Let me give you a news flash. I told you they were feds, and it came out they were. No one is allowed to do that unless they're a fed, okay? If I got on air and said that, they would have police here in an hour, and they should. You got free speech, but you can't say, go blow up the Capitol. If somebody actually tried to organize that on air, they'd go to jail because that is calling for violence. You can't do that. It just makes my head spin. By the way, I'm trying to find my article. Where did it go? It's a top story today. It's already scrolled off the main page. It's so important. No, there's my other article about the imploding economy. Where's my article about the... Where's my article about the, no, that's the 18-month-old baby flagged as a terrorist, can't fly. Guys, pull up Paul Watson's article, please.